So, Lex, tell me about the show of yours that just dropped on Netflix. It's a competition show. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, so it's called a signing La Firma. And essentially for me it was a project I really created because I realized that artists stopped breaking from these music shows. And part of that is because listeners and the audience stopped wanting people just with talent. They wanted real artists. They wanted to feel like the artist has something to say because we have now on our phones millions and millions of songs every day that drop on every Friday. We have thousands of new songs. And so I wanted to figure out how to recreate that feeling that the shows like Making the Band gave me, right? And so the show, we started it with 12 real artists. All these 12 artists had already released music. Some of them even had great features, already had some streaming history. And we brought them to Miami for a mix of competition, music creation, and house reality. And that's really what you see and embody in this show that's so special, that all the music is original. So these kids really felt during the period of 6 weeks, the real pressure an artist feels to deliver a record, to create music, to have to go then perform it at a high level, to then be tired the next day and have to do it again. But we also gave them this life experience about the genre and where it came from. So we took them in private jet to Puerto Rico, and they got to go to Looney's house. Looney is like the godfather of production in reggaeton, and they got to go see El Choliseo, which is it's like saying Madison Square Garden is the one place you want to sell out when you're an urban Latin artist. And then they came back, they got to interact with the judges in a different way. We really wanted this to feel like we're just bringing cameras into this moment where these artists are going through the best stage of their lives and really getting an opportunity to make their dreams come true. And then obviously there's the TV moment, right? Which is me ripping the contract and saying, your contract has been terminated, which is really interesting because when I came up with the idea, originally I didn't think that it was going to be me doing it. And so when I ended up with the job to do it, it was a little stressful on set as I was producing the show while being on the show, but it came out incredible. The response has been amazing. For me, the biggest success is that the audience is picking up on those little nuances, those creative risks that we took, which for me is amazing as a creator, right? Like, because sometimes when you sell these shows or you partner with the platforms to do them, you get a lot of pushback on things. So the fact that I was able to stand my ground on some of these creative nuances, and then the audience has picked that up as like what makes the show so incredible. I'm on cloud nine right now.
That's amazing. I like the idea of tearing up the contract and saying terminate. It's like so many reality shows all in one with this. It's like you got The Apprentice with that, you got Making the Band, like you said. And I love you for making that old reference because I was in college when that show came out. So, and like so many other, you got The Voice, you got American Idol, you got like everything in it.
Yeah,
I'm
it
excited.
was it was like really bringing a little bit of everything to this incredible show, um, because I wanted you to feel all those emotions, right? Like I wanted you to feel as an audience that you're meeting these 12 real artists from places that they're really struggling. So these guys were really from the bottom, but yet you also see the culture shift and the changes that each of them has when they're creating music. So you're also seeing the process of, wow, this is how you make a song. And then you get the moment on stage, like you said, The Apprentice, and you get that moment where it's like the tension and the contract and the interaction. So again, I love creating shows, and this I've done that with every show that I've created thus far, where I could take a format that's been kind of repeated over years and say, okay, I'm gonna mess this thing up. I'm gonna play with what it means and how it comes off so that I can truly relay the message of what I want to relay. And I'm blessed enough that my creative risk pay off or have paid off so far.
That's incredible. What would you say was the biggest challenge about making all this happen?
Well, I think primarily was that this is the first show I ever wrote and produced, when I had originally sold it. So it's funny because it was the first show I sold, but it wasn't. My other shows actually ended up going into production before this one. This show originally was at a different network or a different partner. And so developing it over time. And again, I think being able to stand firm in the things that you believe, and then producing this kind of show, it's never an easy task when you have 12 contestants and so many moving parts, and you're moving the staging and the whole crew to different sets. And so it was quite the challenge, but it's been incredible for me to do it. And I think other than that, from a personal level, was being the bad guy, because I'm such a nice guy. I'm stern and I'm a good businessman, but I'm such like a teddy bear in that sense. I'm like really humble and loving to people. And so being this guy and on TV, when you're watching it, it seems pretty quickly, but when you're actually filming it, because you got to create these spaces so that the editing room can actually cut, you're taking a lot longer to cut that contract. So I'm holding and saying, Sammy, and I'm like delaying this process to create tension. Meanwhile, the artist is on stage like freaking out, So emotionally, it was really hard, especially the first 5 episodes. But it's a blast, and now I feel like I'm a natural. I could do it again, and I'm all about it.
I love that. I love that. And which reality show host or judge do you think you relate most to, and why?
Well, everybody says Simon Cowell because obviously he's the bad guy. He carries the tension in all the shows he's done. So people are saying, I'm like the Spanish Simon Cowell, and I think in this show I can see that. I definitely play that, and I would say Nikki Nicole plays the Paula Abdul. So she's like the all loving, and it was really funny because we didn't intend to be like that, but naturally I had never really hung out with her before, but naturally we had this connection off top from the first episode where she played that role and she really interacted with me. And so there's a good bantering going on between me and her throughout the whole season. That's really, really good.
It's incredible. And which act, without giving too much away, do you think surprised you the most?
Which one? I'm sorry.
Which act?
Oh, which act? Nashi. Nashi is an Argentinian girl who raps and sings and just has the stage presence that I mean, from the first performance, she just grabbed the judges. Like she just really had this different feeling about her. She's a star, so that was really surprising to see that, especially because when she's not on stage, she's like the super shy girl. But when she gets on that stage, she's a monster.
Nice. And what do you think, other than what you told me, what else makes your show stand out more than like The Voice or American Idol or any of those kinds of shows?
I mean, I think primarily is the fact that you're seeing real artists create real music, like, original music at the moment. And along with our partnership with Spotify, that's given these artists an audience. The playlist already has, I think, over 250,000 followers in just a couple of days, in 2 days, which is impressive for them. And you're getting to see real music. Like I feel like the artists are going to come out of here with this huge fan base, because the fan base is not hearing them sing a cover song and then they got to go figure out what their voice as an artist is. No, they're hearing their artistry. So I think that part of it automatically is top. And two, that it really is the journey of the artist development, right? Like the focus wasn't so much on an audition and seeing if you can out talent somebody. It was more like, is what you have to say to the world and the way you're saying it better than someone else's? And I think that's real artistry, right? Like a lot of people can sing, a lot of people can dance, a lot of people can have great voices, but very few of them have something to say to the world.
Oh, you okay, honey?
Yeah, my daughter got a cold and she gave me the cold, so here's the cough.
It's okay. You like when daughters share. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, and that's what I like about this show too, all the originality. Because you see some of these other shows, they're singing covers of other people's, and the fact that you get to see their journey, I think, is just absolutely incredible. And like you said, I think each one of them has something special, and we're definitely going to hear from every single one of these. There's what, 12, right?
Yeah, 12.
12 of them, yeah. All 12 of them are going to end up making it big in their respective genres, and I'm so here for it. I'm so excited for all of them, and I'm proud of you too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, now what's next for you?
Continuing to grow the production company and the business overall on the music side. But for on the film side, we have another show coming out May 2nd on Paramount Plus, which we're about to announce. But it's a docu musical. So it follows the daily life of a mega superstar. And as she kind of walks through her daily life, she bumps into legendary artists, and in the middle of conversation as they're speaking, it breaks into song, and the whole surrounding and everything turns into a musical, like a Broadway musical, and they remake and re-sing this historic song um, through each episode. And so we're super thrilled about that show. We also are in production in another show in Puerto Rico for Netflix as well as a scripted show. And so we're just continuing to put content out, really developing the stories that we want to tell to the world. And we're excited. I mean, like, I didn't study film, I didn't study television. I was just a kid with a dream and a pretty good understanding of storytelling. And here I am, back to back really great shows that are really breaking and doing chart topping numbers. And for me, that's a blessing. So for me, it's just to continue to create and give you and the world incredible television and film to watch.
I love that. I'm so excited about this other show that's coming out, and you've got to mention in season 2, putting out New Universe.
Yes, yes, I'm into that.
Yes. Yeah, so with that, like asking people I interview, tell me a fun fact about yourself.
Fun fact about myself. I'm an adventure junkie. I need to live on the edge at all times. So even though people look at me and I'm super composed and again well put together, I am a maniac. I like to skydive and ride my jet skis extremely fast and race cars and anything that drives my adrenaline up. I think that's why I'm in this business, because it's a huge adrenaline rush. So I would say that's a fun fact.
I like that. I like that. And what else are you watching on TV these days?
Hmm. Um, it's so funny because outside of when I'm looking at television for work, like watching shows that to appreciate the writing or look at someone's POV, I actually, when I get home, I like to watch shows like my dad says, where they kill even the guy selling the popcorn, like something where you don't have to think too much. So I love like all the FBI series on CBS. Um, and anything that has to do with law enforcement, I'm super drawn to, because you don't have to overthink what is going to happen. There's a crime going to be solved at some point. But I also I love the new show on Netflix about the agent. What is it called? Black Agent, Secret Agent. Danny, what's the new show? I can't think of the name. Night Agent.
Night Agent. Yes, yes.
So I love that. Again, anything within that that I watch just for pleasure, just to like as I'm kind of disconnecting myself. But outside of that, I appreciate many different shows whenever I have to do it for the art. Like I love Rami. I think it's an incredibly well written show. Euphoria is another show that I think is incredibly written. But I love the Wednesday, for example, on Netflix as well. Like, so I'm pretty kind of all over the place and broad. I watch a lot of television and a lot of films.
Yes. Nice. If you want a good cop show, I definitely check out Will Trent on ABC. Have you seen that one yet?
Yes,
I
yeah.
love that
Watch Will
show.
Trent. Yeah, I watch Will Trent as well. Like, so CBS makes incredible shows. Honestly, they're not like they make some of my favorite shows. I watch like Navy SEALs on there, and I watch SWAT, like all those shows.
Yes.
Like it's like down my cup of tea.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff too. There's so much good, so little time to watch everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
And where can follow you on social media so you can continue to follow your career?
So literally my name, Lex Borrero, across all platforms, and so it's pretty easy, and it'll come up because there's not a lot of people named Lex.
It just reminds me of that guy in like all those DC.
Yeah, the evil,
The evil, yeah, but you're the good counterpart, so
I'm the good, and we're both bald, which is the funny part. Lex Luthor is also bald.
yes. So when I put it in my calendar, I just put Lex out and the time of the interview. It was like, okay, if anyone sees this, they're probably gonna think, oh, Sammy's interviewing Lex Luthor, but it's so much better because I got you.
Exactly.
Well, it's been a pleasure to speak to you, and we're gonna have to speak again soon when all these new projects come out.
Please, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
You got it. We'll talk again soon.
Listen, take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.